to drive this partnership further and support our colleagues at Steve on this matter. And yeah, I think that what we're going for is strengthening the digital interface between local governments and citizens. We're happy to see the creation of digital applications, the support of the municipalities, but also to drive the developments and improvement of digital skills across the whole municipality, our partners, but also the constituents. And just to give you a little introduction of what we've done in the past, for example, we've introduced the topic of digital customer care systems. So what used to be maybe a call to the municipality is now available to be done digitally. We introduced ticketing systems, so concerns and challenges, but also remarks from citizens don't get lost and actually are being taken up. We've done ICT maturity audits to support our municipal partners and see how and where we can improve the infrastructure and the processes. And we've developed digital analytical tools for impact members and municipalities when it comes to good financial governance. And our goal is to create a better understanding of digital processes within the municipalities. And use that for new projects like this local hackathon, projects where we want to drive the topics of smart city further, and the idea of introducing data dashboards so municipalities have an understanding of what's happening in their municipality on one glance, see through data visualization where there might be challenges arising, and that there's the possibility to do predictive or preemptive measurements so problems don't become as big. And yeah, we believe that this data-driven digital approach can deliver benefits on both sides as for the public, where we see a better interaction, a better connection with the municipality, but also for the districts where there's more knowledge, there can be better decision making, and essentially that the service delivery can improve because the funds can be spent directly where it needs to. And obviously driven by the overall goal to improve the lives of the citizens across the municipality. So yeah, this was just a quick introduction to what we're doing at the GIZ, and we're very happy to partner with the Tshwete municipality and hearing great ideas from all of you. Thanks, Kevin.
Great stuff. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Awesome. So up next, we'll just get into the introduction of the hackathon, and I would like to please call upon Ms. Sybil Madlopfa, who is the Chief Information Officer at STLM. So off to you. Okay, my apologies. It appears Sybil, unfortunately, is not on the call at this point in time. So without further ado, we'll get into what the hackathon is about. So what the heck, guys? So the what, the how, the where, the who, and the when, right? So what is a hackathon? For those who are new to hackathons, a hackathon is a marathon of tech/digital solutions development. And this particular hackathon will be hosted by the Steve Tshwete local municipality and GIZ. So if you're new to hackathons, it's like a marathon, but the end goal is that you've produced some kind of a digital solution. Now, in terms of the where, it is a virtual hackathon, meaning you will code from home and then submit your solution for judging and win prizes at the end. And we've set up a series of, or a bunch of platforms that we'll both demonstrate, and that some of you perhaps have already started being onboarded on, such as Slack. And yeah, this is essentially where the hackathon will take place, as it is virtual. In terms of the how, in terms of the how, by now you should have been added to the Hackathon virtual workspace. As I've mentioned before, this is taking place on Slack. So on Slack, you'll be able to get important information such as judging criteria, any updates, and also mentorship. So on Slack, you will have the ability not only to chat or text with mentors, but if you're able to arrange it, you may also call your mentors and speak to them verbally. In terms of the who, so various participants from around the Tshwete local municipality are taking part and are guided by leaders in the industry, right? So with regards to the when, the hackathon will be taking place from the 9th up until the 10th of February. And yeah, we'll go through the schedule of activities shortly. But before we do, what is the theme or the focus outset of this hackathon? So the theme is digital local government service for increased youth engagement. So throughout the weekend, as you are building your solution, please do keep this theme close by and make sure that your solution is relevant. Yeah, so with regards to the theme and everything I've mentioned thus far, do you have any questions or points of clarity? Please feel free to raise your hand, and then we'll give you the floor to ask your question. Okay, so far there are no questions. Yeah, and perhaps that's because there's more information we still need to share. So without further ado, I'd like to get into the day one schedule. So just as a reminder, the hackathon officially kicks off next week, Tuesday at 9 a.m. And in terms of the day one schedule, we'll go through exactly what will be happening until 12 o'clock. So between 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock, this is where we'll have team channels finalization. So please ensure that you are on Slack. And during this time, we'll make sure that each and every one of you do have a team and that you are ready for a hackathon. There are many people you can team up with. So during that time, we'll finalize your teams, get you guys into private team channels, and make sure that you are prepared for the hackathon. Then between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock, we'll have a virtual coffee session. And during this time, everyone is urged to make some coffee or tea, or even if you want to get an energy drink, you're encouraged to do that. And then just post about it on Slack. So on Slack, we do have a networking channel. We do also have an entertainment channel. And during this time, before the hackathon starts, it's an excellent time to network with other individuals and just start that conversation. You know, we may not be in the same physical space, but we are in the same virtual space, and we are able to network accordingly. And then from 9 o'clock until 9:30, that'll be the official hackathon opening. And during the session, yeah, so the official hackathon opening session is there to help teams start fresh on scope. So the first 15 minutes will be some remarks from our stakeholders, and then the second half will be some technical checks and the game plan for the day ahead. And this will be done by key culture and stakeholders. Then from 9:30 until 10:15, we'll have idea finalization. So teams work with mentors to solidify the ideas based on the theme and the scenario. So this will, yeah, so the responsibility here goes to not only you as the participant, but your whole team and the mentors as well. Then from 10:15 until 12, you'll officially start hacking away. So teams, yeah, during this time, your team will spend time researching, planning, designing, and implementing your digital solutions with the guidance of mentors. From 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, this is when we'll do teams profiling. So each team is expected to fill out a form that helps profile members and the digital solution you hope to develop, right? So this form will be shared on Slack and email, guys. So you may have heard a lot about Slack. If you are not yet on the Slack workspace, please do shout. But as you can see, a lot of the communication will happen on Slack. So it is crucial that you are not only there, but that you remain active on there to receive any important information. Then we'll have from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock a lunch break. And guys, we do encourage you to actually take a lunch break, drink lots of water, and energize. If you want, go for a walk. But yeah, let's not underestimate the importance of taking breaks, especially during this time where we can easily overwork ourselves virtually. So do have that lunch break. And in addition to that, we will have some surprise lunch giveaways based on the competitions we may be running during that time. Then from 2 o'clock until 5 o'clock, you'll continue, once again, researching, planning, designing, and implementing your digital solution with the guidance of mentors. From 5 o'clock until 6 o'clock, we'll have a quick progress check. So during that time, a video call session with all the teams will be had, and you'll be requested to give a 2-minute pitch to update what you're working on. And yeah, you'll also be given preliminary feedback and guidance. So for that event, a calendar invite will be sent out. So you do want to pay attention to your email. When you get that calendar invite, if you accept it, you can just go to your Google Calendar, and then you'll be able to get access to the call via the calendar event, or even via the email that has been sent. Then from 6 o'clock until 8 o'clock, you'll continue hacking away. That does include dinner in between. Then from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, we'll have a music hour. So as I've mentioned before, we have an entertainment channel on the Slack workspace. So during that time, we encourage you to share the kind of music you like to listen to while you're developing. Yeah, and it's once again an excellent opportunity to network with other individuals. Then from 9 o'clock until 12 o'clock, you'll continue hacking away. And at 12 o'clock, that's when we'll run the midnight update. So at 12 o'clock, all teams must submit the form to provide a midnight update, guys. Please make sure you are awake at that time. Or if you did go to sleep, please just wake up at 12 just to complete the midnight update form. It is very crucial. So yeah, and by 12 o'clock 12 in the morning, midnight update submissions should be complete. Which brings us on to day 2, which is Wednesday, the 10th of Feb. Yeah, as you can see, we'll start at 12 in the morning and we'll end at 5 p.m. sharp. The items here start off with from 12 o'clock to 9 o'clock. We'll have a hackaway session. So once again, this is time for you to continue working on your solution. Ideally, during this time, you should be developing and implementing it. And yeah, I encourage you to keep the judging criteria and the theme close by as you are doing this at all times. From 9 o'clock until 9:30, we're going to have mentor checks. So each team has a full engagement period with the mentors for guidance. So teams and mentors may use the Slack call feature, which I will demonstrate. Then from 9:30 until 10 a.m., we'll have a presentation guidance. So during that time, the teams are given guidance on PowerPoint presentation through Slack once again, and some pointers on what to cover. So just on a higher level, your presentation should include, number 1, a cover page, which has your team name and solution name. Number 2, the team members. And number 3, the background, the problem statement you have chosen, the solution you're trying to build, the impact of your solution, the tools you've used to create your solution, and some screenshots. And one thing to note there is please limit your slides to 10 slides or to 10 pages. because your team will only have 6 minutes to present. Then from 10 o'clock until 12 p.m., you will continue working on your solution. Teams, yeah, so you'll continue spending time with your mentors as you research, plan, and implement your solution. Ideally, during this time, you should be quite close to wrapping up the implementation and development. And then from 12 until 1 o'clock, we'll have crunch time with the submission deadline being at 1 o'clock sharp. So participants will be reminded and guided on the final submission of the solution for the judging session. So a form will be provided and teams may continue working on the digital solution until 1 p.m. So from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, we'll do our final preparations. So although teams have submitted, they may continue putting in final touches on the technical aspects of their digital solutions. Then between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock, we'll have presentations and judging. So judges will be given an opportunity to introduce themselves. Then each team will have exactly 6 minutes to present, and we will be strict with time, guys. Yeah, so you'll have the 6 minutes to present in front of a panel of judges, and then judges will have 4 minutes to ask any questions. During that time, all judges will be given a minute to finalize scoring while the next team is requested to set up. So we will let you know well in advance when it is your turn, but please do prepare once the team who goes before you is done, and make sure you have everything ready to be presented. Then from 4 o'clock until 4:30, we're going to have deliberations and feedback. So judges will get into a breakaway room to deliberate on the scores. They'll put the scores together, and then they'll come to the final winners. So yeah, and then during that time, feedback with participants will be done on the hackathon main room, and everyone is urged to fill in the feedback survey. So I'll just repeat that. Excuse me. All feedback will be given on the hackathon main room, which is on Slack, and everyone is urged to fill in the final feedback survey, guys. And then from 4:30 until 10:55, judges, feedback, and winners. So the overall feedback will be given to the teams by judges. Yeah, and then from 10:05 until 5 p.m., we'll have a closing session. And yeah, this will be when the hackathon closes with a vote of thanks from our stakeholders. So in a nutshell, this is what will take place next week. Up next, I would like to go through. Sorry, I would like to call on Charlotte Wu to go through judges and judging.
Thanks, Gabriel. Yeah, so as he mentioned, when you're working on your solutions, keep the overall theme in mind, but it's also really important to keep in mind what the judges are going to be particularly looking to see when you do your presentations on Tuesday. So each team is going to be scored against the following criteria. And as you can see in the right-hand column, some of them are worth more points than others, so you can bear that in mind. And it adds up to a total score out of 50. The first criteria is the innovation and novelty criteria. So obviously, as a hackathon, we're looking for thinking outside the box. So the judges will be assessing how innovative is your idea. Is it something new? Or if it's something that does exist, how does it improve over what is already out in the market? Second one is social impact. Obviously, the theme is about connecting young people to their local government. So how does your solution have the potential to meaningfully do that? And will the solution create value for your potential users and improve their ability to take part in civic processes and solve some of the problems or challenges that they might currently experience? Thirdly, best use of available resources. And this one is for 10 points as well. How well does the solution make use of the data and resources that are available? So as Gabriel mentioned, these will be shared via Slack and also through the resources channel on Slack. So what insights have you gathered from the data that's available, and how have you used data to come to a solution? How have you interpreted the data, and does your story that you're telling about your solution complement the data that's being used? Fourthly, also for 10 points, we're looking at user experience. So how easy is your proposed solution to use and navigate? Is it user-friendly? Is it easy to understand? And is it accessible for the proposed target audience? So remember, again, we're targeting young people here. So is it something that they would want to use and would be able to easily access? Fifthly, we have scalability. This one's worth 5 points out of 50. So think about whether your solution can be delivered at scale or replicated by others in different environments. So obviously, we're looking at the Mpumalanga local environment here, but is it something that could be used in other environments and contexts? And does the solution look like it can be implemented there with ease? And lastly, relevance to the scenario. So this one's worth 10 points. And the judges will be looking at your thought process around a solution that's really relevant to the scenario that's been developed by GIZ and the Tshwete municipality. How effective is your solution, and how relevant is it to the needs and lived experiences of local people that you're aiming to support? What's the purpose of your solution? And overall, the wow factor. Are the judges feeling that this solution is blowing their socks off? So when you put together your presentation, please make sure that you do cover and include all of these points, because you might think that it's covered, but just make sure that you really draw out these points so that judges are able to see your thought process and how you've designed according to these criteria, and they can score you against them accordingly. Can we go to the next slide, please, Gabriel? So who are the judges? So we will reveal the experts that we have lined up on our judging panel that you'll be aiming to impress at the start of the hackathon. So look out for that information on Monday morning. So yeah, so that's the judging criteria. We've also shared it on the Slack platform, so you can refer to that easily. And I'll now hand over to Misho for some of his top hackathon tips. So good luck, everyone.
All right, thank you, Charlotte. Just want to touch on the top hackathon tips for you guys during the hackathon. So it's quite important to just be able to, let me just pin this, to be able to just follow some of these tips, right? There's more, but these are just the ideal ones to go through. So the first one is get some rest the night before. I know we like to stay up all night, but it's going to be very important for you to get some rest the night before so that you are fresh for the day, you're well prepared for the day, and your body is ready for thinking and working. The second one is get the brief, brainstorm, review, and finalize. So what this means is there is a brief that you will get. You already know the theme of the hackathon. The first thing is don't just start to code your solution. Gather as a team and start unpacking and understanding, okay, who are we solving this problem for? What already is existing? How can we make our solution much better? How do you go about? So brainstorm a bit, draw some sketches, draw some lines just to see how your solution will probably look like, and then start segmenting, creating phases to say, this is what we're gonna do first, this is what we're gonna do second, and this is what it's gonna look like at the end. Then you can jump into the technical side of things. So don't worry too much about jumping into the technical first. First understand what you're trying to build. It's like building a house. You don't just go buy bricks and start building. You first draw a blueprint of what it's going to look like. So that's where you start. Then once you've done your coding and you've got something, review it to make sure that it's in line, one, with the judging criteria. It's also in line with the theme, and it's still addressing and helping the municipality, right? And then you finalize your solution, and then you submit it. The next one is manage your time. This is a 2-day hackathon. It is very important to manage your time. It's very easy to, maybe hacking from your bed and falling asleep. So manage your time, your individual time, manage your team's time, assign times where you guys will meet as a team, but also be aware of the schedule that has been set for the hackathon. Communicate with your team. It's very important to use the Slack channel to communicate with your team. There will be channels for each team created there. So your discussions there as a team, your timeframes, when are you going to meet, updates on how things are going. Make sure that everybody in the team is in the loop. Ask questions, and lots of questions. This is for the mentors. So there will be mentors available for you guys throughout the hackathon. Ask as many questions as possible. There are also the Geek Culture team as well that are ready to guide you guys. Do not get stuck on your own, especially those that fear that maybe they don't have the technical capabilities. This is not just about the technical side of things. It's really about first addressing the challenge, then you can figure out the technical part of things. So ask as many questions as possible to all the mentors and the different stakeholders that are involved. And also be open to learning. So you might not be from a technical background, but also be open just to learn something new. You might be from the technical background, but be open to learn about the municipality, their challenges and opportunities there as well, because that will help you solve your solution. Charlotte just touched a bit on the judging criteria. It is very, very important to understand the judging criteria, to follow the judging criteria, so you know what you're working towards and what you'll be judged on. And then the last thing is have fun. This is a virtual hackathon. Let's have as much fun as possible. There'll be entertainment, but entertainment is not just from us. We want to see your pictures. We want to see where you're working from. We want to see you guys dance, share your videos, your brainstorming session. Let's just have fun through the period of the hackathon. Yeah, and that's the most important thing as well. All right, so I will also touch on the business model canvas. So what the business model canvas is, it's a model that helps you understand your solution. It's a model that helps you understand your customers. It helps you understand your business. So you might have heard of things like a business plan. The model helps address something of that nature in a much more better way, where you understand each and every single component of your business, each and every single component of your idea. So it will be important to address this when you're working on your solution. As Gabriel, can you please go to the previous slide? We'll share the resources, but one place to find the business model canvas is a place called Cavanizer.com. It allows you to go to, please, to the next slide. It allows you to download this sheet here, and you can edit it live as you go and as you're working on your solution. So I'll just quickly go through this, but I will be available as well through the hackathon to work with teams on their business model to help them understand who they're working it for. So in this case, we know that the hackathon is about the municipality, and it's about figuring out how to come up with good digital services to better connect with the youth, to better provide services for the community through digital services, right? So you need to keep the theme in mind when you do the business model canvas. So your customer relationship, so the business model canvas has 9 blocks, right? There's a different flow. Everybody works, different people work on, they start in different areas. I prefer to start with the customer relationship, and I'll just take you through that. So the first part is a customer relationship. Think about who are you addressing solving the problem for, right? Who are you solving the problem for? Is it the community? Is it the municipality? Is it a combination of both? And then also understand that pain points. What are some of the major problems that they're having? The best part to do is you can actually start from today, asking questions from people in the community, get their feeling, get their understanding of the problem, get maybe their real deep pain problem, so you can address it much better when it comes to next week. So with the customer relationship, you have 2 things that you also need to consider. There's your users, and then there's also your customers. So users are people that are just going to be using the platform, that are not necessarily building and not necessarily paying for it. And then your customers and clients are people that will potentially pay and take out money for your services. Oh, sorry, this thing is a bit cut. I'm actually, it's not customer relationship. Sorry, guys. It's customer segment. For some odd reason, it's cut on my side, but it's not a problem. It's not a problem. So, okay. I know what the problem is. Okay, so thanks for that. So it's customer segment, the first one. That one's I was talking about. Unpack your customer segment, understand who your customers are, your users, and your clients around it. Then come to value proposition. So also can't see the slide. Is anyone also having challenges with the slides? Guys, it would be great if we could see the slides, please. Are we good with the slides? Okay, you'll just give us a heads up if you still cannot see the slides. Cool, thanks, Comfort. All right, so I was talking about the customer segment. That was the first part. So in this case, you are working with the municipality. You are also dealing with the community. Think about who's the customer segment around that. Then value proposition, think about why would they want to use your solution? What's the value that your solution will give to them? So a simple thing like if you look at Pick and Pay, when you go to Pick and Pay, you get the Smart Shopper card, right? You get points for that. So that's a bit of value that one gets. So it's easier to go and buy something from Pick and Pay rather than another shop. When you look at petrol, you might go to an engine if you're an F&B because you get e-bucks. That's the kind of value proposition. But also the value proposition could be how can your solution make their life better? So they think about, right, when we come to buy your solution or use your solution, this is how it will address our problems much better and make our lives much better. So think about that as well. Then you've got channels. So when it comes to channels, these are called distribution channels. So now that you've got your solution, how are you going to distribute it to your users, to your customers, to your clients? Part of that is if it is a hardware or something that you can hold, and you need to deliver it to a delivery service, right? Maybe part of that is you need trucks. Maybe you need scooters to deliver the solution or the solution to the people. So think about your distribution channel. Part of the distribution channel involves marketing and creating awareness of your solution. So how are you going to make people aware of your solution? How are you going to make people aware of it and to market it? It could be through social media. Once again, if you're going to use social media, is it attracting the right customer segment? Is your customer segment on those social media platforms? So it is important to link a distribution channel to your customer segment. And then customer relationships, it's what kind of relationships do you intend on building with your customers? Do you have a help center if there are any problems that you have? Do you have a proper relationship with them to, for them to continue to choose using you over everyone else that's available? So I'll go to the key activities, to the key elements that you can see there. Right, so on this key, you see that at the end is key partners, key activities, and key resources. It is important to identify your key resources. So key resources is maybe you need an app developer in a team. You probably don't have the right app skills, so you need that app developer. That's a key resource. Maybe you need hardware to build something. That's a key resource. In the long run, maybe your solution needs a factory, an office space. You need computers. Those are things like key resources to consider when you are working on your solutions. Then you've got key activities. So key activities, think about what are some of the things that you need to do to deliver your value, to deliver your solution. So maybe during the coming weekend, part of the key activities is for you guys to go do research. Maybe part of the key activities is to talk to the stakeholders on this call, maybe part of the key activities is to engage with mentors and to gather information. So think about the key things that you need to do to deliver your solution, to make it come to life, to make sure that the municipalities are aware of it and potentially can start using and implementing your solutions. Key partners in this case, you look at, okay, what are you working on, right? If it's addressing Department of Health, maybe your key partner is the Department of Health. If you're looking for if you're doing something that addresses education and it involves the schools, maybe you need the Department of Education to give you access to the different schools. Maybe you need to engage with the school and the principals. So think about who are your key partners. You could partner with NGOs. You could partner with the likes of computer hardware companies, your HP, Dell, to provide a service. I don't know what the service is that you'd want to provide, but think about the key partners that you need to partner with to deliver your solution. So part of that is the key partner. It will fall under key activities because you have to identify them and you have to go find them. Now, once you've gotten all this stuff, it'll give you a rough idea of how much things are going to cost in terms of delivering your solution. So things like if you are looking for hardware, how much is it going to cost? If you're going to be moving up and down through your distribution channels, how much is that going to cost? If you want to give proper value to your customers to build a relationship, how much is that going to cost? So your cost structure is then the part that you start coming up with based on the cost of the different things that you'll need to do. And then the last one is your revenue stream. So your revenue stream is how are you going to make the money? How are you going to make your profits? How are you going to calculate your profits? So all these things might be relatively new to some of you guys, but we are available throughout to help you, guide you through this, to take you through this process. And I'll also be sharing a video, a link to a video which will help you understand the business model canvas much better. If there's still any further questions, I'm not sure if we're taking them now, Gabriel, or later, but it will also be available on Slack to help you guys out. Thank you very much.
Awesome stuff. Thank you so much, Misho. So off to the next section, which is tips on solutions. So I'll be going through hackathon resources and tools, as well as platforms that you guys can use to essentially create your solutions over the weekend. So yeah, these tools are mainly co-creation tools you can use for ideation, collaboration tools, and yeah, that's essentially what you will need in order to not only work with your team virtually, but also to deliver your solution virtually. So the key tools over here, number one is Slack, and we've already mentioned a lot about Slack, but I'll actually go into a demo of how you can get started with Slack. Then we have Google Slides. So that is for co-creation of PowerPoint presentations, and the emphasis there is co-creation, because with Google Slides you can actually collaborate with your team in real time on the same slide. And then for project management and reporting, we'll be using Trello, and I'll explain how you can get started by creating your own Trello board and lists. And then lastly, we have code storage, version control, and collaboration. Obviously, you guys will be, writing some code, developing some kind of solution of that kind or application of that kind, and you need to store your code somewhere. So that is where Git comes in, more specifically Bitbucket. So I'm going to start off with Google Slides. So when you are onboarded onto Google Slides, you'll be presented with the following menu. And to start a new project, you can actually just go through the template gallery. They have many templates for you here. But once you found the template of your choice, or if you want to start with a blank template, you're also welcome to. You then just click on that template, and then it will start creating that particular resource for you. Cool. It then just takes T-3 seconds or so to load. But once it's loaded, as you can see, you are presented with a screen that looks a lot like Microsoft PowerPoint, if you're familiar with PowerPoint, and most of the features are quite similar. So as we've mentioned, there are some pages there is a page structure that ideally you would like to follow. And I will not be going through the page structure during this time. Instead, I would just like to show you guys, number one, how you can get started with using these slides and then collaborating with others. So the first thing you want to do is in the top left-hand corner over here is you want to name your pitch. So let's say I'm working on a smart city app. So I'll just call this smart city pitch. Okay. Cool. And then on your cover page, you'll obviously just have your solution name. I'll just call it Smarty. Yeah, and this will be, I'll just give it a short description. And you can go as far as to add images by going to the Insert tab here. And if you hover over image, you can upload an image from the computer, or you can even search the web. So when you use the search the web feature, it'll go to Google, and you can actually import an image straight from Google into your slides. For now, I will just select this first image, and okay, so there's a slight error there, but that's how you add images. The next thing I would like to show you is how you can collaborate. So if you go to the top right-hand corner, you'll see a big yellow button that says share. So once you've gone to that link, you can actually share this presentation with your team. So in my case, I'll share with my best friend, which is info@geekculture.com. And just like that, I can add him and say, hello, here are our slides for the hackathon, right? And then when you're done, you can press send. And then just like that, the other person will receive an invitation, which will allow them to join these slides. And in real time, you can actually collaborate and make changes. So the last thing I want to show you in this regard is if you want to export your slides. So when you're pitching, you may be presenting straight from here. And in that case, what you want to do is you want to click the Present tab to actually present the presentation, as you can see here. But in the event that you need to export your file, you can just go into Files in the top left-hand corner here, and then you can go to Download. So it's File, Download, and you can pick the file type of your choice. You can either go for Microsoft PowerPoint. You'll most probably go for PowerPoint or PDF, but there are also other options. For example, you can capture images of that particular slide as well. And then just like that, that's how you can get started using Google Slides with your team. The next thing I would like to show you is Trello. And with Trello, you'll be managing your project. This is a perfect tool, this is the perfect tool to use to manage progress updates, to put all your tasks down, to assign tasks to members. You can do all of that here. So once you've logged into Trello, which you can do by creating an account or signing in with Google, you want to go into the top right-hand corner and click this plus button, and then you can start a new board. You can create a board with a template. You can create a team, but in this case, I will just be demonstrating your board. So when you click Create Board, you can then give that board a name. So I'll just say MP Local Hack. And you can give it a custom background. So I'll just take this background, and then you can click the green button that says Create Board. Cool. So now the way Trello works is you have lists and you have cards. Cards have extended functionality, but at its core, you're working with lists and cards. So on the right-hand side here, you have your menu, and I encourage you to explore this menu in your own time. But for now, I'll just be focusing on the core functionality of Trello, which is how to use lists and cards. So a conventional list, a conventional board template you would see is a to-do list template. So here you would have items to do, so to do, and then you can create another list for in progress, and then you can create another list for done, right? So just like that, you've created lists. Now what you want to do in addition to that is add cards to those lists. So the first card that I can think of is to set up environment. Cool. So just like that, when you type what you would like to and add and select add card, your card will be then selected. Now this card, you can actually drag it in between the lists as you're making progress. But what I want to show you is the additional functionality relating to this card. So when you click on that card, you can actually see everything that is related to the card. So first thing you might want to add is a description. So let's say to set up team repository and environment, right? That's just a quick description. In addition to that, what you can do is you can add members, you can add labels, you can add checklist, you can add due dates, attachments, and the cover image. So for the sake of time, I'll just show you the most important one here, which is definitely a checklist. And I highly encourage you to use checklists. So when you click on checklist, you can create the checklist and then press add. Once you have added your checklist, you can then add items to that checklist. So for example, here I'll say repository. Okay, maybe a slide template, and then get team on Slack, for example, right? So you have your 3 items, and then as time goes by, you can actually come back and then tick these items as you have completed them, right? And then the last thing I want to show you here is the due date. So obviously everything will be due on Wednesday. So you can add the date as well as the time. So I'll just say Wednesday, 1 o'clock, that should be completed. Yeah, and then let's say you've checked off all of your items. As you can see now, the card has 3 out of 3 items checked. And then you would then move your card from in progress, in this case, to done. Yeah, and just like that, that is how you would use Trello. Now, obviously, you're not working alone. This board isn't just for your own sake. You will most probably have some kind of a team. So to add people to your board, you can click on invite in the main panel up here. So when you click invite, you can add their email address. So I'll be adding my buddy, info@geekculture.com. Cool. And once you have selected them, you can then press send invitation. Alternatively, you can also do it via a link. Your teammate will then get an invitation, and they'll then be able to join the board accordingly. And once again, you can make changes in real time. So the next thing I want to show you is Bitbucket, which is the version control tool of choice here. So I'm just quickly sharing this tab. So once you're on Bitbucket, as you can see, you'll be presented with a window that looks like this. Or if you go to your home page, yeah, sorry, this is the home page. But then to create a new repository, you can just click on this plus button here and then click create, sorry, and then under create, you can click repository. Once you've done that, you'll be shown this particular page. And here you'll just select your workspace. So here I'll just select a workspace, and then you need to select a project. You can either click one of them, or you can actually create a new project by scrolling down, then going to the project. So here I'll call this one MP local hack, right? And then you can give the repository name. So I'll just say MP local hack. and we named it Smarty. I'll just name the repository Smarty. Cool, and then you can keep it private. So public repositories, yeah, they typically contain open source code and can be viewed by anybody. For now, you can just keep it private, and you'll add your team members manually. For now, I encourage you not to include a README or git ignore. Once that is done, you can click Create Repository. And then, just like that, when T-3 seconds have passed, you will see your repository screen. So on the left-hand side here, you have your source, pipelines, Jira issues. Most of these things you won't use, but the key or the most important item here is source. So when you click on source, you'll be presented with this Get Started screen. So if you're new to Git, you can just copy this clone command and then navigate to the directory of your choice in your terminal command prompt, and then clone the empty repository. Alternatively, there are other ways to get started. So if you already have a local Git repository, you can just navigate to that repo and then connect that existing repository. Yeah, so that's all it takes to create your repository and get started. Now, the last thing I want to show you is how to add collaborators. So if you click on repository settings, so on the left panel here, repository settings, in user and group access. So when this loads, on this particular page, you will be able to add collaborators to your project. So as you can see right now, I'm the only collaborator on this project, but my buddy also wants to be on this project. So I'm just going to invite him by typing his email, info@geekculture.com. Then you can press add. Once you've done that, it will send them an invitation. And in addition to that, you can actually adjust their access. So you can say, you can give them read access, but if they will be coding, you want to give them admin access, which allows them to read and write. So just like that, you've set up your repository and you've invited people. If you have any extra time left, I encourage you to make your repository look nice by adding an icon, a description, and yeah, an icon and a description. And yeah, that's all you need to do to get started with repositories on Bitbucket. So the last thing I would like to show you is Slack. So for Slack, just give me a second to present my screen. Cool. So yes, once it loads. Okay, cool. So this is Slack. As you can see, we have numerous channels on the left-hand side here. First thing you want to note is this is the Slack UI. This is how Slack works. If you have any threads are private conversations, like sub conversations you've had with individuals. You can quickly access them here. If you had direct messages or private messages from other individuals, you can access them from all DMs. And if you've been mentioned or if you have any reactions, you can find them here. What I want to show you is the channels. So the first channel we have here is announcements. The announcement channel is the most important channel, as all important announcements will take place here. So throughout the hackathon, do keep an eye on the announcements tab. Second channel over here is networking. So yeah, like we've mentioned before, the networking channel you can use to introduce yourself, to chat to other people. Do not be shy, especially now as you're being onboarded. You may talk to other people, find your ideal teammate. Yeah, and you can do all of that on the networking channel. Then we have the list of teams channel. So over the next few days, this channel is going to be the most important prior to the hackathon starting. Yeah, do make sure you all have a team, guys. And if you don't, please shout on this channel and say you need a team, and we'll see where we can assist. Then we have our resources channel. This one's pretty self-explanatory, but yeah, this is where all our resources will be put throughout the hackathon. These resources aren't only just from us as in Geek Culture, they also include our mentors and some stakeholder resources. More so, if you have any resources that you feel other teams may benefit from, you're more than welcome to share in the resources channel as well. At the moment, we've shared the judging criteria. As we've mentioned before, you want to keep a close eye on that judging criteria as you are going through the process of creating a solution. So that is available on the resources channel. Then we have tech support, which is also, once again, quite self-explanatory. Scenario digest. And then I would like to show you the entertainment channel, which I've spoken a lot about. Yeah, and this is an excellent tool for, you know, for sharing music or songs that you're interested in or that you feel other people may enjoy. So over here, I'm just going to share, yeah, I'm just going to share an interesting artist. Perhaps you guys will like it. Yeah, but that's how, yeah, that's how you can use the entertainment channel. Please do share your music there accordingly. And then the last thing I would like to show you is in the top right-hand corner over here. So if you click on your icon, it may just have a symbol or a dummy icon. If you click on it, here you'll be able to access edit profile or view profile. For now, I encourage you to click on edit profile. Then over here, you can add all of your details. I've already added mine. You can upload an image. We do encourage you to upload an image. As we mentioned, we can't be in a physical space together, but this does help making the virtual space feel more interactive. Once you filled in all of these fields, what you do, you don't necessarily have to fill in your phone number, and then you can save changes. Last thing I would like to show you is notifications. So Slack may get quite busy, and if you're tired and you want to pause notifications, you can just go to the pause notifications tab here, and then you can set how long you want to pause notifications for. In my case, I enjoy notifications, so I will not be pausing it. Right, so those are the 4 main tools that I encourage you to use throughout this hackathon as you develop your solution, as you and your team brainstorm and plan everything. Yeah, I just encourage you to use those tools. If it's your first time, don't be scared. Yeah, they're really easy to get up and running with. Cool. So up next, we'll just have some preparations. I'd just like to confirm. Okay, so yeah, some things you should know or what to prepare for next. Number 1, please get familiar with the Hackathon Slack workspace, guys. I've just demoed it to you. I encourage you to tell us who you are, introduce yourself. Most importantly, before Tuesday, ideally try and have your team put together. Number 2, study the theme, identify a problem, and come up with a solution. Number 3, you will be provided with mobile data for participation. So if you need data, we will be able to assist in that regard. Number 4, do share your photos on Slack or on social media. We encourage sharing the photos of your workstation, perhaps what kind of music you're jamming to, or what energy drink is your favorite. Yeah, so feel free to engage in that regard. Once again, the excellent place for that is the networking channel, the entertainment channel, as well as social media. Number 5 here is please come up with a great team name that fits. Please note that Smarty is already taken, but yeah, do pick a catchy team name. Make sure it fits your solution. Yeah, and just enjoy the ideation process. Number 6, post your hackathon participation mood with the hashtag #MPLocalHack on social media platforms. So we will keep an eye on the MP Local Hack hashtag, and you are free to post if you've learned something new as you and your team are ideating or as you're working. Feel free to post. We love engagement and would love to see what you guys have to post. Number 7, please shout if you still need help with team formation or allocation. I've mentioned this before, but ideally you want to have your team by 9 o'clock on Tuesday. And if you don't, now is the time to shout. We are all on Slack, and we don't mind assisting you in trying to find a team. And then lastly, join the kickoff session on Monday at 9 a.m. to be fully ready for the hackathon. So yeah, that is it, guys. That's all you have to prepare for next. Yeah, so I'll just end off here and open up the room to any questions that you guys may have or other points of clarity. Awesome. So I see McDonald Giuliani has a question. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask away.
Oh, okay, thanks. I just wanted to find out, are we strictly supposed to use those, say, Bitbucket and Trello, for instance? For example, I'm more familiar with GitHub. So is there a specific reason why we can't use GitHub?
No, not at all. You're absolutely allowed to use GitHub, and you're not forced to use Trello or Bitbucket.
Oh, all right. Oh, thanks. I just was wondering, but I think I should be fine enough to use those anyway. All right. Thanks.
Cool. If you have any additional questions, feel free to raise your hand. If you're shy, you're more than welcome to paste the question in the chat, and we'll just take the next few minutes to answer any last questions. Okay then. Sorry if you still have a question. We'll keep an eye out. But yeah, we'll move on to closing remarks. So just an update, guys. You will receive an invite closer to Monday for the hackathon kickoff session. Please keep an eye on your email as well as your calendar, and from there you'll be able to get onto the kickoff session meet call. But without further ado, I would just like to call on Tiani and Misho to give some closing remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just the first thing to note, that's a mistake actually. It's supposed to be see you Tuesday at 9 a.m. So we'll meet again on Tuesday morning to go through the final details of the hackathon to make sure that everyone is ready. But if you have any questions, do reach out through Slack as well. And the team will be in touch with everyone either through phone call or email or through SMS to be able to ensure that you are ready for the hackathon. And we'll be sharing a variety of resources that you can use to find data, to find tools that you need to be able to build a solution. But yeah, let's have fun preparing. Let's let the world know that that the place of the rising sun is doing the things next week. Hashtag MP local hack. Thank you, Chair.
All right, my parting remarks. Looking forward to the hackathon, the build up to the hackathon. From my side, please do engage on social media using the hashtag, MP Local Hack. Also on Slack, there will be some competitions will be running out throughout the hackathon on Slack. So be aware of those challenges. Yeah, let's have fun and let's address the solution. The weekend is a great time to start thinking about what you're going to be doing, getting familiar with the team that you've been set up with, getting environment set up. So we'll just be posting a bit of tips throughout the weekend. And feel free to engage with the mentors, the Geek Culture team, as we do a build up to the hackathon. Other than that, do have a great weekend.
Cheers.
All right, so keep well, guys.